Hey guys, Mark McKillier, Live Anabolic. Today, I'm gonna go over 4 fantastic exercises for your butt. Yep, that's right, we're gonna be doing ass exercises. We're gonna get that junk in the trunk going, all right? We're gonna get those glutes activated. That's what we're worried about today. And guys, I know it's behind you, so you can't see your own ass, right? But everybody else can, especially women. And if you guys, haven't been on the dating scene for a long time because you're married, I get it. But I'm in the dating scene, and I have some young buddies of mine that are in their 20s that are constantly dating. And let me tell you, women really, surprisingly, check out guys' asses way more than you would ever imagine. So having a good muscular butt really looks good to the opposite sex. And of course, there's all kinds of other benefits too, because remember, your legs, your lower body is 50% of your muscle mass, okay? And when we work our lower body, we're almost always doing compound movements, okay? Because we're using multiple muscle groups, multiple joints, and when we do that, we send signals to our brain to ramp up our body's production of testosterone. And glutes, all right, are so important, okay? So if you aren't doing certain exercises that activate your glutes, then not only are you not gonna have a great looking ass, but you're gonna more likely increase your chances of hurting your lower back, because that is such a big muscle group that it's actually tied into your core. All right, so 4 different exercises today. You really need to use dumbbells, okay? If you're just trying to do this with your body weight only, that's cool, especially if you're overweight and you haven't been practicing or getting in shape yet, but glutes are big, strong muscles. So adding resistance, all right, in the form of dumbbells is really gonna help activate those big, giant muscles a lot better than just doing your own body weight. All right, so I was talking about how important glutes are to our core and our overall body strength, but I also mentioned how important they look as far as making you look attractive to the opposite sex. Well, they're so important that they actually sell men's underwear with padded implants for your butt, all right, to make your butt stick out. So people know the difference between a fat ass and a muscular ass. You can tell wearing jeans, whatever, okay, it's obvious. And so if you've ever watched any funny comedies on TV, they'll make fun of guys with a flat ass, okay? And that's why they started selling that men's underwear with those padded implants to make it look like you have a big butt. Matter of fact, women do it all the time. You have women that actually do cosmetic surgery and have butt implants, like a breast implant, except in their ass, all right? I'm sure there's some guys out there doing the same thing, all right? I don't happen to know any of them, but it's that important from an aesthetic appearance look, okay? That's why so many people are so concerned about it. And if you guys don't work out at a gym regularly, then you wouldn't notice all the women and guys that are doing specific exercises targeted for their glutes, their ass. Tons and tons and tons of people are at the gym really focusing on their butt. All right, so we're not gonna go to the gym. We don't have all that equipment, but we just got, we got some dumbbells here at home, and there's 4 fantastic exercises that you can do that will really help activate those big muscle groups. Now, the first one is called a goblet squat. So that's just a 1 dumbbell exercise, guys. And I'm gonna go through the form real quick without using the dumbbell, okay? And then I'll pick it up and we'll kind of take it from there. So this is just a basic squat, okay? So, I have my feet with my toes pointed slightly outward. They're about shoulder width, maybe just a little bit wider than my shoulders. And guys, remember when you're doing squats, the first part of the movement, you don't bend over like this and then start going down. The first thing you do is stick your ass out. So stick your ass out like you're trying to close a car door behind you. Stick your ass out, and that will get your back in the proper position. And then you just go down until your body says, don't want to go any further. Now, what I like to do is, because I keep my arms in front of me, I go down until my elbows touch my quads. And you can see here, I have at least a 90-degree bend. So this is plenty deep. Now, some guys like to go ass to the grass. And I'm fine with that if you're flexible enough and your knees and your back will let you. So butt out and you just go all the way down. So my knees are way below, all right? And then I come back up. If you can do that, that's great, all right? But in reality, as long as you get to here, I consider that full range of motion in really good form, okay? So now let's make it a little more difficult, because if I'm just lifting just my body weight, all right, I can do these. I mean, I don't know, I might be able to do 100, 150, 200 of them, all right? Basically, I would just get out of breath before my legs gave out. So yes, this does work our quads, but also it works our glutes, all right? So proper form is get this thing up here, and I'm gonna hold it just like this, all right? And then first part, very initial part of this exercise is ass out, go down, elbows hit my quads, back up. And then guys, I want you to focus. You can do this, all right? You need to train the mind-muscle connection. So when you go down and you hit here, and when you start going back up, really feel your butt, all right, contract. Really feel those glutes. Try to lift yourself up just with your ass. And you literally can feel a difference if you focus on squeezing your butt as opposed to just pushing up with your quads, okay? Even though you can't tell a difference looking on the camera right now, okay? I can feel a huge difference. All right, so, and it doesn't take long, okay? Just with a little bit of practice, when you're going down, you won't be able to tell the difference. But when you're at the bottom and then pushing up, you want to push right here, okay? As opposed to pushing right here with your quads. Now, you won't be able to put all the emphasis on your glutes. It just doesn't work that way. This is a compound movement. We're using lots of different muscle groups at the same time. So you're still going to activate your quads. But what we want to do is try to move as much, okay, of the weight back here to our butt as possible, okay? Because that's what we're working on. We're really trying to get those glutes activated. Okay, exercise number 2 is the good old-fashioned lunge. Now we're going to be doing these standing in place because we're inside in a small room, okay? This is a great exercise to go outside and do, all right? If you want to get the heck out of your house for a little while, you got great weather and want to enjoy it, this is one of the best outdoor exercises you can do, because you can just walk and walk and walk as far as you can go, all right? I used to do this around our office building, okay? And we would put a 60-pound sandbag on our backs, and we would go about 40 steps, and man, you're just dying, okay? I'd drop the sandbag, and then my young workout buddy who was in his 20s, he put it on, and he would go 40 steps, and I would just kind of follow along. And then we would switch up, and we would go all the way around this big parking lot, and it was a killer, all right? So, lunges, guys. You need to listen to your body, okay? I still have really good flexibility. I don't have a problem with my knees, my hips, my back. Everything is, cross my fingers, everything is still working really well. But I want you guys to take a nice long step, okay, out in front of yourself. And then once you get to here, all you're gonna do is squat down. So you're gonna focus on that back knee going down and touching the ground. And when you're doing that, don't rest all your weight on your left side, on your back knee, all right? So even though you're touching the ground, you wanna maintain the tension here, all right, in your front leg. And another way to do that is to go just shy of touching the ground with your back knee. So I'll take a step and I'll stop here. Now, all the tension is on my quad and my hams and man, my glutes. And then when you push back, you're gonna feel it, all right, in your upper hamstrings and your glutes. So a nice long step, longer than normal, almost to the ground with your back knee, and then push back. All right, so I'm just doing body weight lunges right now just to show you the form. Now let me show you what will happen if you don't take an abnormally long step forward. You just take a little baby step, all right? Now when I go down, my knee is out in front of my toe. So when you do that, if you just take a little regular short step, all right, my knee's in front of my toe, so you're putting more stress on your knee than you should, okay? And that's where you might get into some problems, okay, with joint pain. So take a longer step than normal. When I squat down, my knee is behind my toe. Real easy way to check to make sure if you're taking a long enough step. So let's make this a little more difficult, because guys, your legs, your ass especially, really big, very strong muscles, okay? So it's nice to weight things up here, make it tougher. So step. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm just staring at a spot on the wall. That helps me with my balance, okay? And so I'm really feeling this. My entire lower body is getting activated now. But at the same time, when I stop my momentum going forward and down, boy, your butt really takes over. And then when you push back, you also feel it in your ass. So guys, wonderful exercise. If you can, do that full range of motion like I was. But if your knees are bothering you and you can do partial lunges, do it. I really urge you guys to push yourselves, even if it's just a little painful, as long as it doesn't make the pain worse after the workout's over and the next day you're not doing any damage, okay? If it's just a little painful while you're doing the exercise, you're not doing any damage to your joints, okay? So wonderful exercise. Gets you out of breath, especially if you try to talk at the same time. All right, guys, exercise number 3. It's called a stiff-legged deadlift. All right, there's another name for it. It's called a Romanian deadlift. The problem is, when you hear me say stiff-legged, a lot of people think they need to lock their knees out, okay, and then do the deadlift like this, okay? That is the wrong way to do it, okay? So stiff-legged is a misnomer, okay? So I'm gonna get my cameraman to show me from a slight angle here so you can see. I'm gonna do this without the dumbbells first. So guys, when you begin this movement, it's just like that squat. The first initiating move is stick your ass out. All right, so when I stick my ass out, look what happens to my knees. So I'm locked right there, okay? Stick my ass out, and they automatically bend, okay? So ass goes out, knees automatically bend, and then I just hinge at the hips, and I come down. And you can see, I have a nice bend in my knees here, but I'm gonna really feel a lot of tension in your hamstrings, and you're also gonna feel it up here in your butt, all right? So I like to pick a spot on the ground, okay, about 10 feet in front of me, and I stare at that. That helps keep my back and my neck in a nice straight neutral position, and it also helps me keep my balance, okay? So butt out, and I'm staring at a spot on the ground in front of me, and I stare at it even though I'm up here, so I don't move my head up. I don't move my sight to a different location. I stare at the same spot. I'm coming down, my knees are bent, but my butt isn't down here. All right, when you bring your butt down, that's a deadlift. It's not a stiff-legged deadlift, okay? So butt out, hinge at your hips, look forward, and then straight back up, all right? So to make it more difficult, okay, we gotta use some dumbbells here. So guys, you can experiment with different width stances. If you have a wide stance, when you come down, the dumbbells are gonna be, in front of you. If you have a little bit more narrow stance, when you come down, you can keep the dumbbells that closer to your center of gravity. Either way is fine, okay? So I just kind of keep a medium width, all right? Remember, I'm looking forward. I'm just kind of staring at a spot about 10 to 12 feet in front of me. Butt goes out, down, and I don't have to touch the ground with the dumbbells, okay? Butt out. And another thing is when it comes to form, watch how close I keep these dumbbells to my knees and my shin. So when I go down, I'm almost touching my legs. And then when I come up, I'm grazing my knees, okay, with my hands, just almost touching my knees, okay? Because if you let these things get out in front of you like this, oh my God, that puts a ton of stress on your lower back. So when you keep the weight close to your center of gravity, you really take a ton of weight off of your lower back. And instead, that weight gets picked up by your glutes, and your hamstrings are both really gonna get activated when we do these things. So guys, pick as heavy a weight as you can, probably as heavy as you have in your house, because this is an exercise that uses tons of muscles, and hence you just naturally can lift a lot of weight. All right, so the last exercise here, number 4, is something called a glute bridge. All right, so first, before I use the dumbbell, I want to show you the form, and then I want to talk to you a little bit about how many people I see at the gym doing this exercise. All right, so we're down on our butts, all right? So you want to have your legs, you know, bent at about a 90-degree angle here, guys. And I'm just going to show you the form without the dumbbell. This is just body weight only. And I recommend you do this body weight only until you get that mind-muscle connection going, because you don't want to just throw your hips up in the air. You want to actually feel the muscles contracting. So I'm just going to slowly push my pelvis straight up, and you won't be able to go real far. I mean, there's only so much you can do here, okay? And instead of, don't let your tailbone come back and just rest on the ground, because as soon as your tailbone is on the ground, then your muscles can deactivate and just relax. And now you've lost all that time under tension, okay? So we want your muscles to be contracting throughout the entire set, okay? So up, and I want you to squeeze it and hold it to the top for about a 2 count, and then bring it down, and you'll be able to feel your clothes, all right, touch the ground without actually allowing the ground to support your body, and then back up. All right, little 1, 2, and then down. So to make it more difficult, all right, we're just gonna get a dumbbell up here. And guys, this is another exercise where you can probably use the heaviest dumbbell that you have at home, okay? Because we're using a lot of muscles here, and you got a lot of leverage, okay? So I'm just gonna hold this dumbbell. It's just really kind of sitting here, okay? All right, on my pelvis. And I'm just gonna bring it up, and it's gonna wanna roll down. So I'm just holding it with my hands. It's real easy. Even if this was I could probably do a 100-pound dumbbell and still easily hold it with my hands. And then down, and don't let my butt rest, okay? Up, 1, 2. Control it down, 1, 2. Don't let it touch, 1, 2. And then you just can kind of roll over to the side and get the weight off. Now, this is such a popular exercise, and really get so much weight actually on your glutes that tons of people do this at the gym. But at the gym, you got tons of equipment, so they do it with a barbell, okay, instead of dumbbells. And of course, the benefit of a barbell is you can load it up with a ton of weight, and then instead of putting their back on the ground, they get their back up on a bench, so their shoulder blades are way off the ground, okay? And they're kind of leaning back on that bench, and they got this bar laying across their waist. Some people will load it up with 300 pounds, okay? And they have a big rubber pad here, and of course their shoulder blades are being supported, and they will lift that bar, okay, all the way up, and they'll arch their back, and all their weight is being carried at the top end on their shoulder blades, and then everything else is right here, okay? And they got a 300-pound barbell straddling their stomach, okay? And that exercise really started getting popular about 4 or 5 years ago. Earlier than that, I never saw anybody doing that at the gym. And the reason is because big muscular asses really became the rave, okay? And everybody's always thought they look good, but people just didn't talk about it. And you see it all the time on TV, all right? It's in all kinds of comedy shows, you know, sitcoms and things like that on TV. Everybody's talking about, oh, he's either got a flat ass or she's got great junk in the trunk, whatever it is. But guys, trust me, having a big muscular ass really adds to the overall aesthetics of your physique. It's something you actually do want. You just don't want a fat ass. Big difference. All right, guys, so if you haven't tried some of our supplements, I highly recommend you at least give them a shot. They don't work for everybody, but most people really do like them. And if it doesn't work for you, it's okay. There's a money-back guarantee, so you literally have no risk. Anabolic boost is something you actually squirt in your mouth. You put it under your tongue, okay? You hold it there for a few seconds before you swallow. And this is designed to help your body maximize its natural production of human growth hormone. Different from testosterone, but very similar in the way it affects your physique, all right? So if you haven't tried an HGH booster before, at least give it a shot. See if it's something. Some people, they just go bonkers. They absolutely love it. And then other people say, I can't really tell the difference. And that's okay. Send us an email and we'll refund your purchase. So guys, we're always looking for ways, at least I am, not just to give you great exercises, but also to help you get the absolute most out of the exercises. And that includes, you got to eat right. The nutrition is critical. It's the most important. But supplements can also play a role. That's why they're called supplements and not primaries, okay? So your basic nutrition is the most important, but if you want a little extra boost and try to get as much as possible out of every single workout, try throwing in some supplements. Click the link below and it'll take you to the website, and it really explains in detail how all these supplements work, what ingredients in them. We follow these studies that all these professors do at these major universities, and if we like what we're seeing there, then we actually formulate our supplements based on those studies and the ingredients that they studied. So guys, none of this is going to happen overnight. You're not going to get a big, tight, muscular ass in a week, but if you stick with it and never give up on yourself, I guarantee you're going to look a whole lot better in those jeans.